he designed that underground airport, and of course everything was run by the Nazis
Mhm.
then, but they were not supposed to tell where this airport is
Mhm.
because we got bombed all the time,
Yeah.
and there was just enough room for a pilot to taxi the planes out of there,
Mhm.
to take off. And they used to fly to England and bomb it a lot. And but they killed not just him; they killed everybody who worked on that airport. And that boy mentions that he was in that story. He said it too, because I told somebody, I think here, and he said, "Oh, that couldn't have been." And then I read that book, and he's saying the same thing. He came here then with his mother married an American then too, because her husband I think was killed in the war too, and they came here, and he joined the American Air Force.
Mhm.
But he wrote that book, The German Boy, and I think your dad has it,
Yeah,
or
he does.
yeah, and it's that airport is in there. I think it was Chris I told it to, and Chris came to me and I think it was Chris, either that or Joanna, I don't know which, came and said, "Yeah, it was true that." And I looked at him and I said, "Well, did you think I made it up?" you know, because the way he because he heard it from somebody else. And he was just a little boy then too, but he was there, and his father was a pilot.
Mhm. Can you talk about wait, what was your uncle's name?
Anthony.
Can you talk about the gypsies?
Oh, the the gypsies. Everybody, they came up from Hungary because in Germany there were no gypsies. But during the war, there was war all over Europe. They were
Mhm.
everywhere. They came up there, and there was this gypsy lady, and she would sell laces and things. And she came to the door, and she had a little girl, beautiful little girl. She had long hair, curly hair, and Louise had Diana in Germany. This is
Mhm.
after the
Yeah.
war, but that little gypsy girl was a beautiful child. She had long black curly hair and black eyes, like gypsies are. Most gypsies are dark because they're
Mhm.
from Hungary, and they're white skinned, but they're dark. And that lady came all the time selling stuff, and I told her, yeah, I buy five yards of lace.
Mhm.
And I seen her measuring it like this. She measured it, and I paid her for 5 yards, and then she wrapped it up and put it in a little bag and gave me. And after she left, I only had 1 yard. She always measured the same yard. And I told Louise, I said, "Oh my God." And she said, "That's what you get when you buy something from Gypsies." you know. But she had this beautiful girl, and Louise was when Diana was born, she was born in Germany,
Mhm.
and her father was Mexican, and Diana always looked Mexican. She
Mhm.
always looked Mexican. She had darker skin, she had the dark hair, and she was not as pretty as this gypsy girl.
Mhm.
And Louise was so disappointed because she always pictured her girl like that. And when we went, babies are always born in a hospital in
Yeah.
Germany, and they stay there for better than a week or two
Yeah.
weeks. And she stuck out like a sore thumb in all those little white German children. But Louise never got over that. She was crazy about Henry, but she was not that crazy about. She was disappointed
Yeah.
because Diana didn't look like that little gypsy girl. And I told her, I says, you shouldn't feel that way. I says, what's in beauty anyway? It's not what they look like; it's what's inside of them. And it wasn't that Diana was homely; it was that she was different.
Mhm.
She was really dark with the dark eyes and the dark hair, and she looked Mexican.
Mhm.
But that was foreign to us. We didn't know what Mexicans looked like.
Mhm.
Except we knew her dad, and her dad was a Mexican, and I liked a lot. He was the nicest guy you ever want to meet. And she married him, and then she had Henry, and Henry was lighter colored than Diana, but still, you still could tell that his dad was Mexican. But I never forget how disappointed Louise was because she pictured her baby to look like that gypsy girl,
Yeah.
I told her, I says, what do you care? She's got everything. She's got all her fingers and her toes, and yeah, she was bald too.
Oh.
My God, she was bald a long time. We thought she's never gonna grow hair, and when she did, she grew lots of hair. Like Mexicans have lots of hair. She had and straight as an arrow. The little gypsy girl had curly hair,
Yeah.
black hair but
Yeah.
curly hair, and she had the black eyes, but they're not Mexican. They're
Yeah.
Hungarian mostly, the gypsies. And they're mixed with white people and all of that. So it wasn't, it wasn't, it was just, I don't know. I never pictured my kids to look like somebody,
Yeah.
you know. But Louise was, my sister Louise was different. She was crazy about movie stars, and she followed one movie star all the way to out of town and then had to walk home. And he didn't even take notice of her. But she was crazy about movie stars and things like that. It meant a lot to her.
Mhm.
To me, all I was interested in when my kids was born, does it have everything?
Yeah.
That's the first thing I said to when Louise was born. She weighed 8 pounds and 3 ounces. And I said, does she have everything? And the doctor said, oh yeah, she's got everything, and she is beautiful, and she was. She had the roundest little head, and lots of hair. But she was, of course, white because
Yeah.
my husband wasn't. He was white. In fact, his father, his Grandpa Singley, I love Grandpa Singley. Grandpa Singley looked more. He was his father and his family came from Germany,
Mhm.
and they came through Ellis Island
Mhm.
in those days, and they had 5 children, and he was 5 years old at the time. And he got lost in the shuffle with all these people coming
Mhm.
off the boat. They lost him. And so a senator of Mississippi adopted him because they couldn't find out who his father was.
Mhm.
He was too young to tell
Mhm.
him, and he probably could only talk German anyway, you
Yeah.
know. So he was raised by this Mississippi
Mhm.
senator and then inherited, they gave everything to him and they died. And that's how they got these big dairies, the Singleys, because they gave him their name, not, and after the war, his, one of his sisters looked for him, the oldest one, you
Mhm.
know. She knew that they had that little boy and they had lost him. And she kept looking for them and she finally found him. And she told him, and he said to her, it was right at the end of the war
Mhm.
when she found him, he said to her, so he knew that he was adopted,
Yeah.
you know. she told him where he came from and all of that, and he said, and she's so she said to him, so who you think, what do you think you are? And he said, anything but German, because it was right after the war, you know. And she said, yeah, that's what you are, German, unfortunately. But she said she looked for years, and finally, somebody told her where he was. She researched it, you know, who got him, because he got in, and they came through Ellis Island, and so many came through Ellis Island. And I guess they had like 5, 6 kids when they came through there, and they lost him. He must have wandered away, you know,
Yeah.
but he got